and I'm not happy with the developments. Yeah, if you can see your screen, that is the Deputy Speaker introducing members of the State House of Assembly when they went on a courtesy visit to the governor today. The impeached speaker, I want to use this medium, that's Aribisogan. I want to seize this medium to appeal to him to sheath his sword, and it's almost glaring now. Yesterday, 17 people voted to elect Bumi Adeluba in conformity with the wishes of the party hierarchy in the state. In APC, if you follow the tradition in the APC, the party is supreme. And that's why Saraki and co ran into problem
the same Saraki?
The same
former Senate
President. You know, okay. The party wanted someone else as Senate President in 2015. But they went into the Senate chambers in the dead of the night, and yeah, that's the speaker with the Governor Biodun Abayomi Oyebanji.
That's the new speaker.
The new speaker with other ESCO members and other legislators. I mean, so in Ekiti State, the party wanted Bumi Adeluba as a mark of respect to the memory of the late speaker, Fumini Yafuye, that the Southern Senatorial District should be allowed to complete the tenure of the former speaker, who is also incidentally from the Southern Senatorial District. So they all anointed Adeluba. But something happened last week. They got to the house, everything changed, and Aribisogan from the Northern Senatorial District emerged.
You sound surprised, Majid.
Yes, I'm surprised because, you see, when the party sits and take a decision, I mean, I saw the chairman of the party yesterday in Ekiti State, Barrister Paul Omotosho. He was surprised, so that's why nobody received or congratulated the former, the impeached speaker, Aribisogan. And you can see the new speaker now has received warm embrace from the party and members. And I learned that as I speak, some of the 4 out of the 7 suspended members are already pleading to come back. That now they have, that their eyes were closed before they have seen the light.
Majid, let me involve Tony. Tony, but you are not surprised at what's playing out because Nigerian politicians are becoming Machiavellian.
I'm not surprised because it's not the first. It's not the first. I'm only surprised at the fact that it's a new administration and it's too early for a Rofo fight. Yeah. You know, it's too early. Whatever is causing it, you know, need to be looked at. I mean, there's nothing like, because this may determine how the administration will sail. You know, it's too early for me. A 6-day speaker, then 6 days after another speaker comes. Then. Yeah. I still believe there's room for reconciliation to bring all this, and those who were suspended need to be forgiven. Yeah. If they really need to start well. If I'm the governor, for instance, I won't allow this fight. It's too early, and it's a distraction. It's a distraction, and it's not ending because the other faction, they are still standing on their own ground, and then this. Yeah. I won't tolerate it. I will just look for ways of reconciling it to parties.
Majid, didn't the governor or the hierarchy see this coming?
So that, no, I started by saying that the party, the leadership of the party, the Ekiti is an APC state. All the 25 members are all APC. And so if the party decides that this is the person we want, and some people in the minority decides otherwise, the party can punish them. But I think I agree with you, but then this is the legislature. There is little the governor can do. The governor can only appeal or advise. They have their own structure. That's why it is not automatic.
But at the state level, the governor is the leader of the party.
The governor is the leader of the party, but the legislature, you know, it's like a check and balance to the executive. Yeah, okay. But we all know that oftentimes the governor to have his way in a cordial working relationship with the assembly. But then the governor cannot cannot impose himself on, cannot impose the decision on the House of Assembly. But I think, like you said, reason will prevail, and the other early members will be.
All right. The other matter is internal democracy at the party level. You know, it's still missing here.
Yes, you see, no governor, or no, the party will want internal democracy, but in actual sense, the party has its own mechanism of reining in members that wants to be incalcitrant. So that's why there are rules and regulations. That's why Nigeria still does not allow independent candidates. If you want to run as an independent candidate, then I mean it's not in the constitution in Nigeria. So as long as you are flying party tickets, the party still has its own disciplinary issues, and they still have to advise the House of Assembly on who they want. I mean, there's a zoning arrangement in Ekiti which allows for balancing of power amongst the three.
Majid, I share. Tony and I share your sentiments. But Tony, this is not the end.
It's not the end.
Because it's too early in the day to go this way.
On that zoning, I may have to just, agree with you on that. But that the governor has, do not have a kind of influence on the legislature, I want to disagree. Because I know how this thing works in Nigeria. It may not have 100% control of the legislature, but it can actually, have its way. If he really wants a peaceful administration, for me, it's a new day. Ekiti State does not deserve this. And I've read insinuation from different quarters, and it's not too good for him. He has a way of making sure that this thing dies down immediately. I know the party is supreme, but the governor too can do a lot in this case. The governor can do a lot. So let's just hope that between now and maybe the days to come, that I think the state governor needs it.
All right. Ekiti State, from the Hangout here, we are saying solve your problems because the elector is a part of the game. The everyday Ekiti man and woman is interested in what's happening in his or her state. Okay, straight to Zamfara now. The calculated use of violence to create a general climate of fear in our country has refused to go away. It is called terrorism. Now hear this story. Suspected terrorists have abducted 20 persons at Danrang town in the Zurmi local government area of Zamfara state. In a wanton display of dead devilry, the merchants of death, we can tell you, stormed the town at about 8:30 in the morning and conducted a home-to-home search, or house-to-house search, if you like. The victims include married women, a nursing mother with a 4-day-old twins. We are a long, long way from home, Tony.
It surprises me most times when this happens, and the next day we hear that everything is over, that we've succeeded in, insecurity is a thing of the past. We need help. Nigeria still need help. We're seated here comfortably because we are not, within those...
within the center.
Yeah. It's painful when few people, disgruntled elements will walk into a street, house to house. It's at 8:30 a.m., not even p.m.
p.m., yeah.
House to house, and abducted over 20 or 20 people and walk the streets unchallenged. And this is a Nigerian state. A Nigerian state where we still have the police, we have the army, we have the civil defense and all that.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. And we keep giving the same excuses. I think it's high time we just sit down and agree that we need help. I don't know how, but it's obvious we're not getting it right. We can't be saying this over and over. We've been saying this all the time, and people are being killed. Yeah. Who knows if they are going to come back eventually? How can people come abduct people and disappear into thin air. They didn't disappear. They walked through the streets. So until now, they've not gotten them.
Because
why would we talk? How does it sound?
We can call the bluff of these people.
We can. We can call the bluff of these people when we're ready. When we're ready, we're not ready yet. They are humans like us,
Majid,
and they are not bigger than the state.
When the commander-in-chief says, promises, I'm going to leave this country better than I met it, you believe him?
I believe him, but then...
you are human.
I'm human. Each time I travel from Lagos to Ekiti, my heart is in my mouth. My wife will be calling me almost every 30 minutes, especially with the heightened insecurity on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway now, although that has died down a bit. Now, going back to Zamfara, just last week, the Commissioner for Information announced to everybody that, now things are...
they seem to be going well.
Going well. Yeah. Insecurity is now a thing of the past. There is an improved level of security in the state, and bam, 8:30 a.m. in the morning, as if they were campaigning for votes or they are doing this early morning devotion that people go from house to house watching. They were picking them from
their houses.
People's wives.
People's wives. A nursing mother with a 4-month-old
set of twins.
Yeah, twins.
Yeah.
Were kidnapped. They ransacked phones and went away with both the phone and the owners. So now it's not as if these people went to the farm.
In their homes.
In their homes. They now went there. So I learned that as little, they now collect as little as 10,000 naira, even foodstuffs, as ransom. So it's, yes, our security operatives are making incursions into the dens of these terrorists, but we need to do more. I mean, we need to continue to comb them and bomb them until...
because we can.
Of course, we can.
Yeah.
Because they have a ragtag, I mean, we have an organized army. They are not bigger than us. We have the resources.
At all.
We have the resources to tackle them. But it's as if we are overstretched. Because Zamfara alone, because of the mines in Zamfara, it's like some local governments there, they even pay levies to these bandits.
Yeah.
So it's as bad as that, as if they have their own government that they are running. So I think we still need to do more in terms of security so that we can at least have our minds at rest and sleep with our 2 eyes closed.
Tony, you know, I look at Zamfara as ordinarily you would have told yourself by now, very close to December, there'll be relative calm in the environment. And now this is an orgy that has refused to go away.
It's refusing to go away.
It has refused to go away.
It's not and I don't see it going away yet, because I'm not seeing anything change. These same countries, a couple of months back, I heard that Zamfara, Katsina, Kaduna, and some part of Niger State, that these terrorists collect protection levy from communities, ranging from 1 million and above. And the people who should know, they know these things, and they're not tackling it. They say, I know that we can do it. And most of these people, they know them personally because they live among them there. They know them. They know them. Some have been living since 2005. They've been living there. They've been giving some of these people protection.
There's this palpable fear of what might happen to you if you volunteer.
That is where government comes in. And that's why we have government. That is why we have government. If the people cannot do it, government should do it. And we cannot say we are overrun. Maybe we don't, for instance, we don't have enough security men. Then recruit. If you cannot, then you can't. What I would disagree with is we can't sit down and what if we more than every day. We cannot sit down and say if we are helpless, there are ways of doing this.
Yeah.
We can't do this for 8 years. By next day, this administration is going. Just a matter of months from now. So for how long are we going to be talking about this? By now, I want to hear at least 90% defeated.
Okay.
Now, it's a new thing. The other day here, America were giving British and all them, they're giving travel advisory and all that. And people were panicking. And thank God the government stood up and said it's not going to happen. And at the end of the day, that is what we want, that is what Nigerians want to see in Zamfara. Because today we hear about Zamfara all the time. It's like that state now is stateless. There's a governor there. There's a governor. The federal government should please lend a helping hand if the governor is helpless.
All right, let the debate continue, but I sure think that we can call the bluff of these marauders. I'm sorry about, it's really unfortunate what's happening in Zamfara State. Okay, let's take our next story. APGA court judgment, perhaps you have not heard that. A certain chief, Emeka Njoku, Edozie Njoku, and one Chukwuemeka Nwoga are in the eye of the storm. Chief Njoku is a factional chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, in Imo State, and they are accused of forging a Supreme Court judgment and a letter-headed paper of retired Justice Mary Odili. Now, prosecution lawyer Ezekiel informed the court that both the accused men had been served the summons and are made aware of their arraignment in court. Hence, the oral application for a subpoena. Now, defense lawyer Mr. Panam, argued against the bench warrant, insisting that the first defendant, Chief Njoku, was currently out of Imo State. As far as Justice Mohammed Madugu of the Federal High Court in the FCT Buhari is concerned, their absence in court is deliberate.
I have an Igbo friend. He lives in U.S.
Okay.
I call him Uncle. He's an elderly person. I call him Uncle Sam. Each time I go to California, I stay in his house. Anytime he comes to Nigeria, we are rather very close. So each time I tell him, it's also from Anambra, Newe to be precise. So I know incidentally, Anambra State is APGA. That's Solido State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now he will tell me, each time we discuss and we mention, he said the party in power. I said APGA. He said no, MJ, you are wrong. It is APGA. Not APGA.
Okay.
Now, APGA with one state forging. You see, these politicians could be daring. The letterhead of a retired
Supreme Court
Justice. In fact, I don't know how daring one could be. You forge the letterhead of a Supreme Court Justice. They are oracles. In fact, they are next to God. So if you can do that, because of what? Because you are fighting over a party that is in one state. How? So see, you can't put anything beyond these politicians. A politician that knows that he cannot win an election, he will tell you that, yes, he's going to buy a form for 50 million or 100 million and put himself in the race where he knows that even he himself will not vote for himself. We have seen it happen. We've seen presidential aspirants scoring 0 at their primaries. But they will be telling you that tomorrow morning I'll be declared winner. I will win. So they are bloody, incurable optimists. How can you go to the extent of forging the letterhead of Justice Mary Odili? How? I don't know how he's going to wriggle out of this.
He has so much guts.
Honestly. Yeah. Now, he addressed a press conference last Thursday. He failed to come to court on Monday, claiming that he has gone to Imo.
Yeah.
Whether Imo is 300 or 5,000 kilometers away, he's going to tell the court at the next sitting, because they have issued a bench warrant for him to come and explain how on earth would you think of forging and doctoring the ruling of the Supreme Court. It's
forging a Supreme Court ruling.
Criminal.
Yeah,
ahead in the
Tony, we are
judgment.
not passing judgment, moral judgment here, but they have been subpoenaed, so you expect them to appear in court, whether or whether, as they say. Allow the court to...
Yeah, allow the court process to take place.
Yeah.
But then that will not take us away from the fact that politicians do this all the time. And I think the system is yet to punish accordingly. This is not the first time.
Yeah.
And these are just the ones we know. They have the guts to go
may
and...
not be the last.
Yes, may not be. It's not going to be the last. It's not going to be the last. You know, for the later head of the retired Supreme Court Justice and utter court judgment, Supreme Court judgment, and then you refuse to come to court. Can you see the impunity there?
Oh.
Then this is, as I said before, until the system start punishing, because it's a corrupt practice, you know, that attracts jail time. But because what we hear later is that they've been relieved of their appointment, and that's the matter dies there. You don't go to jail for it. The system refuses to punish them dearly, because if the system punishes these people dearly, you cannot forge such a document. This is the same country where we have a Salisu Buhari of the form in 1999, the Speaker of National Assembly, forged this certificate, and later resigned. And then what happened? You know, he's walking the street free. So until we do the right thing, there must be punitive measures.
But you know the problem with our country,
for such moves.
The problem with my country, your country, is not a lack of laws.
It's not lack of laws, it's just the will to do so.
Yeah.
What our other the members of the bench will be thinking now, that what audacity. Well, you see, some of these politicians, not all of them, some of them, the kind of things they do, even when they know that some things are not possible, they removed the roof, a whole roof of the assembly,
gravel at the gate.
overnight. Pour gravel, and they didn't know who did it up to today.
Yeah.
It's not as if it was a hurricane or tornado that blew up the roof. Somebody, rather some people.
Till date, and nothing
happened.
So, is the politician bigger than the country?
No, they are not bigger. You see, we have this attitude that people will forget. I mean, is it not Nigerians? I mean, another election cycle will come and we'll
fizzle out.
I'm sorry, Tony. We talked about it the other day. Journalists don't follow a story to a conclusive end. That's my trouble.
That is at the end.
We talked about it on Friday.
It happens. But at times I don't want to blame the journalists. Though. These politicians are taking everybody for granted.
Okay. Well, we are watching the unfolding drama. Of course, we report about it. But let's go on a commercial break. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, in the coming 2023 elections in Nigeria. With a solid background in corporate accounting, consultancy, pro-democracy activism, political career and achievements as a two-term governor of Lagos State, and his role as the national leader of the ruling political party, Asiwaju is a great icon in the political and democratic stage in Nigeria. However, with the unethical activities of his political opponents and recent campaign of calumny by these elements, it is now time to set the record straight and put a final end to these false allegations. This is a true story for all Nigerians to know, that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu clearly has no prior criminal convictions. The documents released by the Northern District of Illinois headquarters in Chicago on a narcotic trafficking and money laundering in an early 1990s case in Chicago, USA, did not indict Asiwaju. A U.S. federal judge subsequently dismissed the matter with prejudice on the 21st of September 1993, which effectively foreclosed the matter from being litigated again by all parties. In legal terms, a dismissal with prejudice means the ruling is the final judgment in the case. This dismissal prohibits the prosecutor from refiling the charges anywhere. With this foreclosure, these charges cannot be brought against Asiwaju in any other court of law worldwide. On the 4th of February 2003, The U.S. Embassy in Nigeria, in response to inquiries by Nigerian police force, wrote a letter to the then Inspector General, Mr. Tafa Balogun, and stated that the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and the National Crime Information Center, NCIC, had conducted record checks and the results were negative for any criminal arrest records, warrants or warrants for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. With the U.S. clearance of any criminality, this campaign of calumny against Asiwaju has no basis. The recent visit of the U.S. government officials to Asiwaju's presidential campaign office in Abuja, amongst other countries' ambassadors, further consolidates this position of truth. Let's end this distraction to Nigeria's democratic future and focus on supporting the only man whose track records clearly show that he is the most experienced and qualified man to lead Nigeria in 2023. It should not be surprising that Asiwaju is the target of all these insults, abuses, and campaign of calumny because he is the man to beat. He is a main contender for the Nigerian presidency because he stands head and shoulders far above any other contender. And because of his political success, his track record of achievements, his acknowledged vision, his remarkable knowledge, and his unparalleled courage, he becomes the object of envy and jealousy by perennial political failures and fraudulent interlopers in the Nigerian political space. But Asiwaju, by the grace of God and the well wishes of the vast majority of Nigerians, remains unstoppable. He is fully committed to the renewed hope of Nigerians for a greater nation. Vote wisely. Vote for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president in the 2023 elections.
Into my house, please get out right away. My spirit and that of Akamata people don't have anything to do together.
Sir, what have I done?
Your people from Akamata are known for bad things. That is what they represent, and you can't live in my house. Just get out right away.
What's going on?
Leave my house, young lady. Yes, our differences extend to our languages, culture, food, and even belief. But we are bound together by the cord of love. With one heart, with one voice, we will make Nigeria a hub of greatness, a place where the people live as one.
This message is brought to you from the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
All right, welcome back. Let's quickly take you to Ogun State and tell you that for the Ogun People's Democratic Party, PDP, the governorship tussle is far from being over. The Apex Court has dismissed an appeal filed before it on the nomination of the party's governorship candidate. Now, consequently, the court has ordered that the case involving an aspirant, Jimmy Lawal, be, remitted to the Federal High Court. Now, for a fresh trial, the Apex Court ordered that the case be assigned to the Chief Judge of the FCT, Justice John Soho, for determination, other than Justice Taiwo, who refused to entertain the suit. Now, recall also that Jimmy Lawal had challenged Oladipupo Adebutu on account of the unlawful delegates that were used for the primary. Okay, Tony, but the Supreme Court is joining the fray now. Mm-hmm. So politicians will always keep us talking.
There's a time they keep the courts busy too, because they fail to do the right thing. I say they fail to do the right thing because when you have two parallel elections conducted for the same office, what do you expect? You're going for House of Reps, two people are running for it, and there are two primaries running at the same time. One is attended by INEC, the other, I don't know who attends. Then at the end of the day, you expect that nothing will happen. Politics in Nigeria shouldn't be seen as do or die. It shouldn't be seen as do or die. And we need to stand up for this. It's not, You get there, I mean, what hurts me most is after this whole fight, they get there and they do nothing. Now, they're leaving the case for the court. And I'm happy that I think the appeal court, trashed the case initially. Now they're saying, okay, go back to Federal High Court, try the case afresh. Yeah. So that's the beauty of court. And I'm sure Jimmy Lawal, I'm sure he's happy right now because I'm sure he did the election was conducted for he won the first election, primary election before Adebutu. If I get the reading properly, then this happened. Now it's in court. I'm happy. I like it that nobody is going to be involved in shooting each other. But what I employ the court here to do is that most times we need to look at these issues critically. The Justice Taiwo tried, threw the case away. Yeah. And now the Supreme Court said, no, we must go and look at that case again. When people cry to you for justice, please look at that issue properly and dispense justice.
Majid, there's this, I may be wrong, but I think so many Nigerian politicians are bad losers. Has it occurred to you to look at that? Yeah. That's why they threw everything into the fire.
No, an average Nigerian politician would rather allow an opponent to get the tickets, another party, rather than allow the person he contested with in the same party to get the tickets. Now, what is happening in Ogun is very funny. There are 3 legs to the case. There's one between Jimmy Lawal and Ladi Adebutu. There is another faction entirely loyal to Atiku. That's my friend's husband, Biodun Showmi. Biodun Showmi is also laying claim. There were 3 primaries.
Biodun is laying claim to government.
Yeah, yes. And Biodun is very close to the unifier, the presidential candidate of the party. So that's why even Jimmy and Ladi, they are just playing, so to say. If anybody is going to get this...
There's a third leg.
There's a third leg, which is a stronger leg, and that is Biodun Showmi. Okay. But then, at the end of the day, what we are going to have is what we call yam pepper scatter.
But the Supreme Court's order does not appear, I may be wrong, to favor Biodun in the...
No.
It's not joining the case.
It's not in this case, but it's another one.
So that's pending.
That one is pending. Now, I don't know how they are... We have just less than 3 months.
94 days.
94 days, yeah.
Just 94 days 3 months, 4 days.
Now, there's going to be a retrial, but I'm happy with the trajectory. If you look at it, the election held on May 25. The first case the first judgment was delivered on July 29 at the Federal High Court, while this appellate court ruled on September 30. And just yesterday, the Supreme Court ruled. So in less than 4 months, they wrapped it up, which means we are getting faster with some of these cases. But then, like I said, other parties in Ogun State might just be warming up for coronation, because after this judgment yesterday, I learned that one of the major contenders started recovering the vehicles he gave to some of the politicians.
All right, let the debate continue, but I dare say that the Supreme Court, like a Daniel, is coming to judgment. And so be it, as they say. All right, let's go to our next story. Political processes in our country are made more tedious by unresolved negative emotions like denials, untrue claims, and false alarms. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, has flatly denied offering 40 billion naira to the standard bearer of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Alhaji Rabiu Kwankwaso, to step down for him. Let me quote Peter Obi. Nobody as of today will say he's funding Peter Obi. I'm funding myself, end quote. Now, elsewhere, Mr. Obi has said that for him and his running mate, Dr. Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, fixing the economy will be top priority. Again, reducing poverty for Nigerians would revolve around the country will resolve the country's insecurity challenge. That's the story.
Yeah, I was there yesterday when Obi came to meet with the Guild of Editors. In the last 1 week, the Guild of Editors have played host to 3 of the front runners in the presidential race. That's Atiku Abubakar, Kwakwanso, and Peter Obi. 2 weeks ago, the candidate of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, blazed the trail. I met with the Guild of Editors, and 4 of them, I mean, spoke very well, and you think the battle should be, of course, we have 18 candidates. But for Obi yesterday, of course, he said it clearly that it's not being funded by anybody. Like the mantra of the party said, we don't give chichi. That's their that's their mantra. I said it's not. Of course, he also, of course, he said something that, well, of course, you will need to buy fuel and also rent space. Even joked about it that, like, as you guys are here, I can buy you lunch, while expecting that you will do something for me in return. So he just joked about that, but I don't see Obi even at almost 800 naira
for a candidate to step down.
Yeah.
And you're not sure.
Yeah,
You're not even
I
sure.
collect the 40 billion, then I'm not contesting again.
You see,
Oh, come on.
people do a lot of things for several reasons.
Sometimes you think you are in the wrong profession.
Look at the way people are paying 100 million for the ticket of the APC. On the last count, I think about 36 of them paid 100 million each.
Non-refundable.
Non-refundable. And so we're actually trying to get it back, though.
Yeah. So politicians, I mean, like I said, you can't put anything beyond them. But 40 billion
It's huge.
for
Just to step down.
yeah.
When you're not sure, we will
A
win it.
billion is a million in 1,000 places.
Yeah.
So times 40.
When you're even certain of winning, you don't get, assuming it's true. I mean, when you're not sure,
what
how can
for?
you,
Yeah.
how
What-
can you
what
drop
for?
40 billion for step down and like that?
I think another
I'm sure-
question.
I'm happy it is-
one other question we asked Obi yesterday was that when and how did the talk between the Labour Party and NNPP collapsed? And they said, well, I think some of these things were time-bound. They needed to submit names to INEC and stuff like that. So that's the way he explained it. And the same thing Kwakwanso said. So, but 40 billion, of course, he spoke about some other things at the rally.
Tony, Obi said for him and his running mate, Dr. Date Ahmed, fixing the economy would be top priority.
It should be a top priority.
That, I think, is the main
Yeah,
frame.
in fact, it should be top priority to anybody who wants to assume succeed President Muhammad Buhari.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the economy is not, we are not seeing it performing excellently. So that should be #1 priority of any of them.
Yeah,
Any of them.
especially coming in the wake of the report by the NBS, National Bureau of Statistics. 133 million Nigerians are experiencing multilateral.
It tells you that we really need to rejig this country. People are not happy. People are not happy. You know, the few cash you have in your hand cannot buy you anything. It can't buy you anything. You go to the market, just sample opinion, sample their views. That they walk the street every day doesn't mean they are living good. Nigerians are not happy with the present state of things.
Yeah.
And so whoever is going to, of course, that's the first thing you have to kickstart. How to bring the economy back to life. Because when
I think
people,
he talked about us returning to being a producing country.
Producing country. Yeah, of course. We cannot be importing. I mean, we can produce what we eat here.
Yeah.
We can, if we have the will to do so. If we are disciplined enough to do so, we do not depend on what we import. Nigeria is so blessed that we can do a lot. If we have the right president, a lot of things need to be done.
If you travel around the country, especially the Middle Belt, you see all sorts of fruits and say, yes, truly,
Wasting away.
this country is blessed. But we have this panache for wasting things.
Yeah, because we lack that added value, advantage. That's why. All year round in Europe and other parts of the world, you eat, most of the things you eat are fresh because they have storage facilities.
Yeah.
But before you can talk of storage facilities, you must look at your power supply situation.
Yeah.
Before you can have tomatoes that you can refrigerate for the next 1 year, you must have constant electricity supply for your refrigerator. And the ones you cannot consume fresh, you take them to the processing mills.
So you wonder what a country like Nigeria could do if we're like Kenya.
Yes.
Kenya makes much of its money, her money from selling flowers and producing tea.
Tea, yeah. In addition to its tourism. So
yes,
but you can't. How do you store your flowers? I mean, there are certain temperatures that these flowers must be stored. These fresh fruits. There are.
Are you visualizing the temperate region? You know, Taraba, that stretch.
Or even Plateau. But then
Plateau, Benue to Taraba.
But even at that, you still need in Kenya, they commercialize agriculture. How many people can afford commercialized farming in Nigeria? The state of Nevada in U.S. alone has about 10 farmers that feeds the whole of America.
10 of them.
Just 10. And that feeds the whole of America.
Don't give me any of them.
So,
let's go on this break. Let's go on this break. We take some more commercials. We'll be back. Please stay with us.
Now, in bridging the infrastructural gaps in the rail sector, the Ori Itakwe standard gauge lines, like I said earlier, were constructed, remodeled, and put to commercial use. Now, we also have ongoing railway corridors that include the Eastern Line, which was the one I mentioned that I used to take as a student back in the 70s, I think. Yes. The Port Harcourt Maiduguri Eastern Line is ongoing. The Kano-Kaduna rail line is ongoing. And the Kano to Maradi is ongoing.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
All right, we must keep talking about the country. For instance, the discussion is about Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, the flag bearer of the Labour Party. He says he didn't give a kobo to Alhaji Rabiu Kwankwaso, the flag bearer of the NNPP, for him to step down. And of course, today we are talking about
economy and
re-engineering the economy, fixing the economy, so that we produce what we eat.
Yes.
Because it is possible.
It's possible. Just like Majid said, in Nevada and US, where few number of people are feeding a whole state. We travel, we see these things. That's most of our policymakers who have the competence, the capacity to do this in Nigeria and make it work.
Yeah.
So when they come back here, they come empty. They see these things. They know all these things. They have it here. But the question is, why can't we do it here? God has blessed this country. We have enough resources, human and natural. But why can't we do it? It tells you that it's man-made. It tells you that when we're ready, we can do it.
Yeah.
We can do it. In terms of electricity, providing the enabling environment, that is where government comes in.
Yeah.
Then we want to encourage agriculture. Not the type they're doing now. Like you say, a lot of people, I want to go into agriculture. They try 2 years and they're tired because no incentives.
Let me borrow something from Governor of Rivers State. The man said, governors of the South, in the oil producing Niger Delta, must account for the 13%
derivation.
Yeah, derivation the president approved for them. And we're talking about billions.
You see, that's another issue entirely
No,
that we have to deal with.
It's a topic
we
we have to
must.
deal with on
It's
its
a
own.
whole day topic. We must deal with it because that's another way of really solving this problem. Because just as I said, that's why we are blessed. I said we are blessed. So much. Financially, we are blessed. God blessed Nigeria.
But we are not
but we
blessing
have human.
God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
We are not. Of course.
See,
it's obvious. We can do these things.
Hate Wike or like him.
The truth is coming
He
out.
said, no, that guy has built more than 12 bridges. He built a new law school in less than
I'm telling
a
you,
year.
I look at the building and I was surprised that a state can do that.
That renal hospital, he built it in less than 2 years.
So it is possible.
It's possible.
So
it is.
Is it Buhari that built those
We
ones?
must sit down.
It is possible to
It
solve
is
our
possible.
problem.
Yeah. It's
and
possible.
we have other governors in the south out there, and they collected this money, and there's nothing to show for it.
Sorry,
And
let me finish.
those bridges were built by Julius Berger.
Yes.
No.
So it's not the federal only. The states too. They are doing. And as you said, Niger Delta.
We must
they
go.
need something.
Time is the master. We must go.
Okay.
So the backroom boys are saying, pack it all in. We want to thank you very kindly. But the World Cup is 2 days old, and we are seeing
surprises.
Yeah.
I'm now from Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. That's it on the program this evening. If you missed a part or any part of this program, join us at 11 later tonight for a repeat broadcast. And of course, don't forget that on Sunday, we expand the show for about 2 hours for you from 1:30 till 3:30 p.m. And just to also remind you, we are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones. Bye-bye now. Take care of yourself.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) in the coming 2023 elections in Nigeria. With a solid background in corporate accounting, consultancy, pro-democracy activism, political career and achievements as a two-term governor of Lagos State and his role as the national leader of the ruling political party, Asiwaju is a great icon in the political and democratic stage in Nigeria. However, with the unethical activities of his political opponents and recent campaign of calumny by these elements, it is now time to set the record straight and put a final end to these false allegations. This is a true story for all Nigerians to know that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu clearly has no prior criminal convictions. The documents released by the Northern District of Illinois headquarters in Chicago on a narcotic trafficking and money laundering in an early 1990s case in Chicago, USA, did not indict Asiwaju. A U.S. federal judge subsequently dismissed the matter with prejudice on the 21st of September 1993, which effectively foreclosed the matter from being litigated again by all parties. In legal terms, a dismissal with prejudice means the ruling is the final judgment in the case. This dismissal prohibits the prosecutor from refiling the charges anywhere. With this foreclosure, these charges cannot be brought against Asiwaju in any other court of law worldwide. On the 4th of February 2003, the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria, in response to inquiries by Nigerian Police Force, wrote a letter to the then Inspector General Mr. Tafa Balogun and stated that the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) and the National Crime Information Center (NCIC) had conducted record checks and the results were negative for any criminal arrest records, warrants or warrants for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. With the U.S. clearance of any criminality, this campaign of calumny against Asiwaju has no basis. The recent visit of the U.S. government officials to Asiwaju's presidential campaign office in Abuja, amongst other countries' ambassadors, further consolidates this position of truth. Let's end this distraction to Nigeria's democratic future and focus on supporting the only man whose track records clearly show that he is the most experienced and qualified man to lead Nigeria in 2023. It should not be surprising that Asiwaju is the target of all these insults, abuses, and campaign of calumny because he is the man to beat. He is a main contender for the Nigerian presidency because he stands head and shoulders far above any other contender. And because of his political success, his track record of achievements, his acknowledged vision, his remarkable knowledge, and his unparalleled courage, he becomes the object of envy and jealousy by perennial political failures and fraudulent interlopers in the Nigerian political space. But Asiwaju, by the grace of God and the well wishes of the vast majority of Nigerians, remains unstoppable. He is fully committed to the renewed hope of Nigerians for a greater nation. Vote wisely. Vote for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president in the 2023 elections.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Black Friday is here, and ShopX TV is proud to bring you a very special offer. We all know the benefits that come from eating a healthy, balanced diet, but sometimes that's not always easy. Until now. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the NutriBullet, the must-have kitchen item of the year. Here's how it works. First, add spinach for fiber, berries for antioxidants, and some banana for potassium. Add water, and watch how the NutriBullet completely breaks everything down. Even almond nuts, cashew nuts, and tiger nuts have been completely broken down. The NutriBullet is not a blender. It's not a juicer. It's an extractor, a crusher. It's a grinder with a